Welcome to the Bombshell Business Podcast, where driven fempreneurs learn how to become more bold, brave, and unwaveringly confident. Turn your dreams into actionable, marketable, and profitable plans and make your business irresistible.
Hey, Bombshell. Welcome back to the Bombshell Business Podcast. I'm your host, Amber Hurdle. I'm excited about today because I like to say that I help Wilma Flintstone do business in a Jane Jetson world, and I want to give a shout out to my friend Lucy Lee out here in Tennessee, who has always been one of my Wilmas, and she's actually, since I've even teased her about this, she has really stepped up her tech game. And today, for episode number 11, we're going to talk about top tech tools for the overwhelmed woman. So some of these would be good for business as well, but I'm going to do a completely different episode on some of my favorite business tools, and I might even have some special guests come in to help explain those. One in particular, actually, that I'm thinking of. But this episode, yes, you can apply these to your business, absolutely, but you can also apply them to life. So feel free to share this episode with some of your girlfriends who, maybe they're not a business owner, but they could certainly use these tools. But before we get started, I always like to give a little behind the scenes because it is crazy exciting that this podcast is getting the momentum that it is. So first, I want to read a listener review. Super happy and grateful. The Sierra Show. Thank you, The Sierra Show, for leaving a 5-star review on iTunes. And if you want to do that, which really, truly helps me reach so many more people, because when people come and they're looking for a podcast to listen to, they're going to read the reviews just like you do a restaurant or a spa or anything. And so if they don't really read anything that connects with them, they're probably not going to listen to it. But if you, Bombshell, if you get on there and you say why you listen to this and who should be listening to it, then that's, basically word of mouth and peer trust. So anyways, back to the Sierra Show. She says, I've followed Amber's career for some time now, and she has always inspired. I'm thrilled that she's developed a podcast so that I can listen in and learn from her experience and expertise for free. The advice she shares is truly invaluable. Her communication style is entertaining, honest, and professional. She gets to the heart of women. The women's need to overcome their greatest challenges and tune into their true gifts. I'm starting a journey of my own, and Amber's podcast is proving to be a guiding light through this overwhelming yet exciting time. Well, first of all, congratulations, the Sierra Show. And thank you for such kind words. I hope that this podcast serves women who have been in business for quite some time and women who are just getting started. Hopefully you can listen to these and start things the right way and get off onto the right foot, instead of being my typical client, which is someone who has started a business and they're at least 3 years in and they've done well almost on accident. Well, not really, because they're super crazy talented, but they never really went back and put that solid foundation down. So they're growing and they're wanting to scale, but they need to go back a little bit and put some more systems and processes in place so that they can continue to have a consistent and amazing business, no matter how big they get, so that their employees can really live out the company culture that they set forth when they first had that inkling of an idea of a business. So I'm very excited for you, the Sierra Show, and I hope you will continue to listen. So a few more fun facts. I love to get up in my statistics. I preach all the time about really understanding who your audience is, and I tell you to measure your results. So I dove back into my statistics. If you've been a listener of the show, you heard before that Tennessee, Georgia, and California are my top 3 states for listenership, which again is not surprising because I live in Tennessee, I've lived in Georgia, I have family in Georgia, and I grew up until I was a teenager in California. So I have some strong networks there. And it was the 4th position was Minnesota, which was kind of a surprise to me. But guess what, Minnesota? You're going to have to start sharing with your friends more frequently because Texas has kicked your butt. Texas has come in fourth, and they are like lots of listeners ahead of you now. So I don't know who's sharing this in Texas, but the spider web has been spun, and definitely have a lot of listeners there. So thank you to the Lone Star State for listening in. Minnesota, your challenge is to take that fourth spot back. I mean, try to even bypass Tennessee, Georgia, and California. Good luck with that, because I've got a lot of great people in those cities that know me personally, and I know are generously sharing this podcast with their peers. And then, exciting, before it was Nashville, Atlanta, and Washington, D.C. were my top 3 cities specifically. And this week when I looked, it's actually Nashville, Atlanta, and San Francisco. So everybody who's out there eating Ghirardelli chocolate and visiting Alcatraz, thank you for listening in. So now Washington, D.C., it's on you. You got to catch up to San Francisco. I do so love that city. And I'm super excited. I'm actually going to get to go to Washington, D.C. this spring for the first time. I can't believe that I am my age and I've never been to our nation's capital as many places as I've been. So anyways, no matter what city, no matter what state you live in, I absolutely appreciate your listenership and sharing the resources that I give to you each week on the Bombshell Business Podcast with your friends and your peers. And you guys, you gentlemen, my Bombshell boys, I know you're out there. Thank you so much for dropping me some emails and reaching out to me on social media and letting me know that this isn't, even though I target women and even though I am doing this every single week for my sisters in business, it is good to know that this is reaching men too, and that you're getting the lessons out of it, even though it's all dressed up with like lipstick and high heels. So anyways, let's get on to today's topic, the top tech tools for the overwhelmed woman. If you're a bombshell, you're probably overwhelmed. That's just who we are. That's what we do. We are the people that people ask to do things because we're the busy people who actually get done. So there are times where we need to ensure that we pull in tools and resources to help us maximize our time, to remain more organized, to not feel like we are on the struggle bus. And so I'm going to share those with you today. I'm going to talk about some problems, and I'm going to talk about the solutions. And all of these resources will be linked up in the show notes. So please do not stress out if you're driving or if you're running and working out. Don't you worry. I got you, girl. Just go to amberhurdle.com. I can't even tell you my own website. See, I'm overwhelmed. Just kidding. So amberhurdle.com/podcasts with an S, and then just find episode 11, and everything we talk about will be in there. And if I miss anything, just shoot me an email and I will take care of you. Okay. So the first problem we're going to talk about is I can't seem to keep up with the never ending stuff. What's stuff? Well, it's everything, right? So the first tool that I'm going to give you, because most of our lives are online now, is LastPass. So LastPass is a password manager. It's the last password that you ever have to create. So you have one master password to get into the site. And then once you're logged in, then it automatically populates passwords into all of your different online accounts. So I don't care if it's your Macy's account or your Kroger account or your bank account, American Express, your Facebook account, whatever, it will automatically populate it. So if you log out of this, then it won't do that. But if you log in, then it'll populate everything. And then you don't have to remember all of your passwords. And there's an app on your smartphone. So like, let's just say you need a password. You can log in and you can physically see what your username and password is. And then the cool thing about this is, like, if you want to share, like, say you updated your bank password, your bank, like where you bank and do business, and say that, whatever, something timed out, and, they make you change it every so often. And so then you change it, and then instead of having to put that in a text message or an email or save it in some kind of like unsecure spreadsheet or something for your husband to also be able to access, you just update LastPass, and then you share that site with your husband. So LastPass has a free and a premium version. And actually, I have an entire blog post about LastPass and why I love it so much. So we will link to that as well. But LastPass is a total time saver. It's something that if I'm sharing different sites, like with my assistant Mary, then I just get into LastPass and I share it with her in there, so I can like quickly go through and share every site that I need her to be able to log into without giving her the password. Now, I implicitly trust Mary, so for me in that particular instance, it's not like, oh, I don't trust her, so I don't want to share the actual password. It's easier because I do share so many website logins with her that it's just much simpler to keep up with it that way. But let's just say that you want to share a password with like a new employee, or, if you have a bunch of different employees and they all need a password to whatever, you can share it with them through LastPass, and then their computer will automatically populate it, but not show them the actual username and password. And then if for whatever reason they leave a company, or you have to let them go, or help them move on to new opportunities, as I like to say, instead of firing them, then you just simply cut them off at LastPass, and you don't have to remember all the different website information that you've given them. So LastPass, super cool, helps you keep up with all of the online stuff. All right, more stuff. Where does more stuff come from? Helping you keep up with more stuff in your inbox is Unroll.me. So Unroll.me is like the super swag. I've been using this for a long time. All you have to do is log in and give Unroll.me, which is totally safe and secure, access to your email account, and it sucks up all of your email subscriptions. So I know you want Bed Bath & Beyond because you want that 20% discount. Like, I get you, girl, but do you really want all the other daily emails that you get from Bed Bath & Beyond? Like, is that really something that is a wise use of your inbox time? Probably not. So what you can do is use Unroll.me. It sucks all of those up, and then it puts them into its own little cloud space, if you will, on the internet. And then you get one email every single day that says, we found 5 new subscriptions in your inbox. Why not roll them up or unsubscribe? And then today you have 6 emails, and it actually shows you little thumbnails of each of those, what the actual emails look like. So you get one email that shows you every basically marketing email that came into your inbox. And so you can decide, oh, no, like, I want Amber Hurdle's newsletter to land actually in my inbox every week. So we're not going to enroll that. I'm going to click for that to stay in my inbox. But like, I don't necessarily need Jimmy John's specials or, whatever in my inbox all the time. Or maybe you want to keep up with a certain thought leader or a particular, maybe it's your Marriott rewards points or whatever. Maybe you want to keep up with that and you want to be able to search for the most recent email, but you just don't want it in your inbox every day. So you can actually roll that up into your daily roll. Okay, so also on the inbox note is Boomerang. I love me some Boomerang. So if I send somebody an email and I say, I'm going to follow up with you on X date, I can, with Boomerang, which is, it's a plug-in to your Gmail, I can set a time for that to boomerang back to my inbox. So there'll be a reminder for me to follow up with you. So, or let's just say that you are, maybe you emailed your son's teacher and you want to set up a meeting because of whatever. And then you don't hear back from them. You can set up a boomerang that will, you can say like 48 hours from now. And then that will give you a reminder to say, hey, I never heard back from you. I really want to talk to you about my son in his math grade, whatever. In the same, if you're following up with people and you don't really have a strong customer relationship management system in place and you're just getting started, or maybe you're just getting started with networking, or you don't have a sophisticated way to keep up with your networking and your sales pipeline. Boomerang is a great way, again, for you to send a proposal out and then mark that you want it to, the same email that you sent to them will land back at the top of your inbox on whatever time and date that you want it to. And so once you send a proposal out, or once you reach out because you want to have coffee with somebody who can connect you to another opportunity, and they don't get back to you by the time you really want to hear back from them, then you can email them back because it boomeranged to the top of your inbox and say, hey, just checking in, touching base, or however you want to say that. Just a reminder, I'd love to get together with you. Or, hey, did you have an opportunity to review that proposal? Do you have any further questions? I'd love to answer them for you. But because of boomerang, you look like you're completely on top of your game, which you in fact will be, because you get to set the time and date when you want to be reminded to follow up on your particular email that you send. Okay. The other thing, the stuff that overwhelms us, expenses. I mean, do you really want to, on like April 10th, be digging through a shoebox of receipts? Or do you want to have a process in place where you can just snap a picture and have it turn into an expense report automatically? Now, I'm not going to get into FreshBooks in this particular episode, but anybody who knows me knows I love me some FreshBooks. So I do have an entire blog post on that, and I will link to that in the show notes. But that's something I'm going to reserve for very specific, like you got to have business tech tools. But today we're just kind of talking about the overwhelmed woman in general. So whether you are a business operator or not, maybe you're a salesperson or whatever that looks like, Expensify is for you, because you just take pictures of your receipts as you get them. It sucks them up, it saves them, and then it categorizes your expenses, and you can spit out an expense report. I mean, shut the front door. Yeah, super easy. Actually, Jen Patterson, one of my original bombshells, introduced me to that, and that's just super awesome. Okay, so that deals with a lot of the stuff, right? So passwords, email, receipts, that's like all the kind of just stuff that piles up and is overwhelming and you just never get to because there's not like a quick, easy solution for it. Ta-da! I just gave you solutions. Now, speaking of, if you want to next level your relationship management, here's another problem. I need better ways to nurture my relationships and stay on top of my commitments. Okay. My favorite CRM/project management combo is Insightly. Now, you do have to have a Gmail in order to use Insightly, but it's worth it. So in Insightly, you can keep up with opportunities and projects. So if you are, say, I don't know, you're trying to build out a fitness center in addition to your existing yoga practice. I don't know what that looks like. Fill in your situation there. Then you can start an opportunity in Insightly with whoever that investor might be who's helping you do that. Okay. And so with that opportunity, then you have contacts, you have tasks, you can go ahead and say, I think, there's like a 75% chance that this is going to work out. And then you can track your different opportunities based on the percentage that you think you're actually going to close that opportunity. Or maybe you're a esthetician and you have a skincare clinic and you are trying to bring in new clients. So you do some networking and you are networking with women who are in their 30s and 40s who are starting to really consider investing in their skin as more of a need than a want. And so you find these women and then you put them into your customer relationship management software, which is Insightly, and you assign them as an opportunity. And then when they become a client, then you can actually switch them over into a project or just keep them as a contact, and you can keep your notes in there. So-and-so came in today. She was concerned about some rosacea, whatever it is, then you keep that note. So the next time that she comes in, and I know that you have your system within, just like your written notes and everything, your clipboard. I see you guys. But this is just a little bit more of a sophisticated way so that when you do call her because you haven't seen her in a while, you can say, oh yeah, a couple times ago, we were really concerned about your rosacea. How's that looking for you right now? I just wanted to check in. Maybe you want to have another appointment set. So if you will go back and listen to the top 3 marketing mistakes that you're making, that particular episode, I think it was episode 8 or 9, I talk about how much money people in the beauty business lose because they don't have a way of keeping up with their customers. And so, I talked about the woman who didn't get in on your book and she's ready for a cut and color and she's freaking out because now you're trying to get her in a week because you're totally booked for that week. And now you've crammed her in. You've missed the opportunity for potentially 1 or 2 more cuts and colors throughout the year because she's so last minute in nature all the time. And then your schedule is getting cramped because you're trying to cram people in because you're a loyal person and you want your customers all happy. Whereas if you would have just had the system where she's an actual quote contact in your Insightly, then you can just trigger a reminder and have like a call list or a text message list or an email list. Like these are the people that I need to call, text message, or email if I haven't gotten them on my book by this time. And now you're being proactive of ensuring that your existing customers are coming in and seeing you on the reg, and you make more money hand over fist throughout the year because you're just reminding them of something that they need to do anyways. Like I said in that episode, if you remind me that it's time for me to book my color appointment, you are not annoying me. You are not getting on my nerves, and you are certainly not spamming me. I need to be reminded because I get busy, and the last thing that I want to do is to have to show up to a speaking gig with my hair looking crazy. So you're doing everybody a service by staying on top of it. Now, you can also use Insightly as a project management tool. So maybe it's that you're having a customer appreciation party or a member appreciation party. Then you can start that project within Insightly, and then you can break down all of the different tasks that you have to do. And, you map all of that out and then put in all of those tasks and the deadlines. And then every day you just show up to work and you look at your tasks, like what needs to be done today. You don't have to think about all of the moving parts in that project. You just have to think about what you're going to get done that day, what is due today. And then if you don't get to one of those things, then you can just reassign the deadline to tomorrow. Like no big deal. But just imagine how that would feel instead of having all of those to-dos in your mind and like, oh my gosh, I have to contact all of these customers and I've got the customer appreciation event coming up and blah. And then on top of that, I have to, call my son's school, and you're feeling overwhelmed because you don't have a system in place. And Insightly is a rock star system. Now, if you're not an Insightly kind of person and maybe you're a little more visual, then Trello might be for you. Trello. It is a project management online software as well. But it's a little more visual. So instead of having like a linear list of here's everything that you need to do, you have three columns, if you will, for each project. So there's to do, doing, and done. So you kind of get a real quick visual screenshot of what's going on within each project. And then there is a way to pull everything up by like, here's what I need to do in the day for the day. Now, I'm a super visual person. Trello is not for me. It's a little overwhelming. So I like Insightly because I can just kind of, I could break it down by project and it's just nice and linear according to the date. And I'm not a linear thinker, so I don't know why this gives me comfort. Or I can just, break it down and what do I need to get done today? Trello is a little more big picture looking. And then there's also Asana as an alternative as well. And I am not an Asana expert, but I have a lot of friends who do use that, maybe more like consultants and coaches and podcasters and that sort of thing. So I'm going to link to that in the show notes, but I really can't speak to that a lot. I just wanted to include it as an alternative in case Insightly or Trello didn't do it for you. Okay, so now we have managed our relationships and our customers. And that could even just be 2 PS. That could just be like, call mom. Like you can put personal things in there. So when I say manage your relationships, if you want to just check in with your girlfriends or have date nights or whatever, like you can do that in these project management softwares in addition to businessy type stuff. So We've kept up with the never-ending stuff with some good tools, and then we have kept up with our relationships and commitments through some project management tools and customer relationship management tools. Oh, okay. Next problem. I can't collaborate or stay organized with sticky notes alone. Now, I've seen y'all's desk, y'all. I have been all up in your businesses, and I see the sticky note extravaganza. Like, it's time to embrace technology. So first of all, I want to tell you about Google Drive. It's cloud storage. It is just like like a Microsoft Office suite, except for it lives in the cloud. So you can do like Word documents and Excel documents and PowerPoints and everything that you can typically do on your desktop, but it's free and it lives in the cloud. So the cool thing about this is you can share it with other people who have a Google ID, so other people within your organization, and they can collaborate on the same file as you, even in real time at the same time. And so it's not like, okay, would you review this and send me your changes? And so you send maybe like the ad copy that you have for, like a magazine ad to somebody on your team. So you send it to them in an attachment, and then they make the changes, and then they send it to you in an attachment, and you're just like, there's all these attachments. What if you just did it somewhere where you can make all the changes and add comments and have the final product right there real time? Like, what? That is awesome. So, and you can also organize yourself. You can have different file folders, so you can very easily access like processes, training, hiring type questions, job descriptions. You can organize your entire business in Google Drive and then share those different file folders with the people who need to have access to them. It's also great cloud storage. So if you want to do training videos or welcome videos, or you're working on marketing videos or MP3s, like all of my podcast episodes live in Google Drive. And then I just send the link to my editor and to my assistant, and my editor uploads into that same folder the final episode, and then my assistant loads it up into the host, which is Libsyn, where this kind of like lives and shoots out to iTunes and Stitcher and Google Play and all that kind of stuff. And then we have everything we need for each episode all in the same place, and everybody has access to it. And, my podcast editor lives 35 minutes from me, and I'm in Nashville, and my assistant lives in Portland, Oregon. So, it's a lot easier just to have everything shared like that. Another option is Dropbox. So I like to use that for really big files. That is something like if it's too big to send as an attachment, then Dropbox is a good solution. This is good for like photos. If you're storing photos for social media campaigns, this would be a good place to just kind of have like your stock images or whatnot, because it's really for bigger files. And in the same way, if you send a link to somebody, then they can access that file, or you can share an invite with a particular email address. And if they have a Dropbox folder, then they kind of like co-share that particular folder. Evernote is another one. You can create text, photo, and audio notes. You can clip web pages, including text, links, and images. You can synchronize your notes across all of your devices. Like this can be on your iPad, on your iPhone, on your desktop. And then you can actually search for text within snapshots and images too. So it's pretty cool. You can create processes with checklists on it. It's a good tool. It's not my favorite, but I know tons of people who do use that. I am just a diehard Google Drive person. I kind of like all my stuff being in the same place. So I have Dropbox for some things, but for the most part, I'm going to be in Google Drive. I just know people who swear by Evernote and could never, ever, ever live without it. And then I want to tell you about one last tool, and it's called Cam Scanner. So I don't know about you, but I'm not using a fax machine these days, and sometimes you're not even near your printer scanner. So it's much easier to just download Cam Scanner to your phone and take a picture with your phone. But then what it does is it kind of like straightens it up, and then it rebalances the shadows and whatnot in the actual image. So if you take a picture of a document, like there could be shadows from the light or whatever, and that just eliminates all of that. And then it turns it into a PDF. So if I'm working on an agreement with somebody, I can right then and there, no matter if I'm near my scanner or not, I can take a picture of it and send it as a very professional looking PDF and then get it back. Or, I can take a picture of a permission slip and save it as a PDF and then email that to my son's teacher, just because I hate paper. Like if you give me paper, it's going to get lost. I'm a busy person. I'm very digital. And who wants piles of paper? Like I have the pile of paper on my breakfast table. I know you do too, or maybe it's on your counter, but you have that stack of paper and it's just like, ugh, what do I do with this? So I try to have fewer of those piles of paper rather than more. So hopefully these type of the storage and the organization and the quick pictures that you can take, hopefully that helps you stay a little more organized and helps you avoid having to have a life fully dependent on sticky notes to keep you on top of everything. So this is a lot, I know. So go to amberhurdle.com/podcasts with an S and check them out in the show notes. Just try applying one. Just try to start using one and see how that helps you. Like find your biggest pain point, and then of these solutions that I give you, use one of them to help you in that area. And then when you get the hang of that, add something else. But don't try to download 7 different apps to your phone and then expect yourself to be Jane Jetson when you know deep down you're Wilma Flintstone. Let's just take baby steps to becoming Jane Jetson, okay? And you might not ever get there, and that's okay too. If you still want to write things down in a paper calendar, rock on with your bad self. But in the meantime, trust technology a little bit. Try to give it a good college try, and let me know which one you decided to use. Email me back at amber@amberhurdle.com, and certainly go to amberhurdle.com/work with me if you want to get deeper into becoming more organized, if you want to create better processes, if you want to know how to set your business up in a digital space, then I'm your huckleberry. So go over to my website and holler at your girl, and I will very gladly help you solve your problems in exchange for money, which is what the definition of business is in the bombshell business world. So I appreciate you listening. Thank you. I would love it if you'd give me a rating and review. There's the how-to on today's show notes on how to do that as well. And I will see you on the next episode, Bombshell. Have a great week.
Thanks for listening to the Bombshell Business Podcast. Visit amberhurdle.com for more resources and be sure to tune in again. Cheers to you, Bombshell.